to my channel. Today's story is going to be about this little guy right here, my special guest for today. This is Kyrie, and today's story will be all about him and his birth journey. He was born 28 weeks, and I am hoping to give hope and a little positivity to anyone that's needed, anyone that's going through the same ordeal that I went through when I had him. So please hit that like and subscribe button, and let's go through this journey together. So Kyrie is my third baby, and all of them were born premature, but he was the micro-preemie. My son has something called NEC, NEC. It's known for necrotizing entercolitis, okay? So necrotizing entercolitis is a disease of the intestines. It mostly happens in premature infants, okay? It's where the wall of the intestine is invaded by bacteria, which cause an infection and inflammation, and it can destroy just the whole intestine. When he was born at 28 weeks, we didn't know right off that he had NEC. He was doing fine. He came out breathing on his own. All of his organs was in his body. He didn't have that many problems. Like, he had on his oxygen mask, which I'm going to post pictures. He had on this oxygen mask, and they were like, oh, we just do this for babies that come out, you know, to keep that pressure, to keep their lungs open. So this is why he has this on and this on. But he seems to be doing good. When it falls off, he's not worried about it. His stats don't drop. None of that happened. He's doing so good. So for that whole first month, we didn't think that he had that. He was slowly taking breast milk. I was pumping for the most part. So as I said, it was all of April pretty much. We were like, okay, he's good. He's improving. He's getting more things taken off of him. Everything is looking good. They're like, oh yeah, if nothing happens, he'll be home way before 35 weeks. Normally most kids stay in before 35 weeks, till 35 weeks, but he's looking really good. So we were getting excited, like, yes, he's gonna come home. Now, I really didn't even get to hold him for the first few weeks. I think maybe it was about 2 weeks. I just looked at him as he was in his incubator. They was like, you know, we don't normally touch them because we need them to grow. We don't want to cause any pressure on the brain. So I could just really go there, watch them, and take pictures. And because this was all happening during COVID, me and my husband was not allowed to go in there at the same time. So I would go, then he would go. So we just take time, sit in the car, wait on each other as we're just visiting him. With him being so small, I wasn't able to hold him. So my first time holding him, it was actually right by my birthday, April 24th. So I was like, you know, I have to hold him for my birthday. If I don't do anything else, I really just need to hold my son. It was so hard having him in there. My middle son, my second one, he didn't have to stay in a NICU. He was born at 35 weeks, but he didn't have a NICU stay. My first son, Devontae, he had a NICU stay. He was also born at 35 weeks, but he had a different condition that I will talk about on another video. So with Kyrie, he was in the NICU the longest, and I was really, you know, I didn't handle it the best, but I mean, I did my best as often as I could. So I just told the nurses, like, you know, my birthday is coming up, and I really just want to hold him. That's all I want to do. And as you're in there so long, you get to know most of the nurses. They're like, you want to hold him? Yes, you can definitely hold him for your birthday. So this is just a picture of me holding him for the first time. Please excuse my hair. I was in the middle of taking down my braids, but being able to hold him, it, you know, really lifted my spirits. It helped me know that he was going to be okay. He's strong, and those different things. So these are some pictures that's showing how good he's doing. As I said, they didn't have any, you know, bad things to say about him. Every day when we came in, it was like, oh, he's doing good. He's doing great. He's really strong. He's, you know, he doesn't need this anymore. We're going down on this. We're going down on this. We're increasing the feeds. And then at some point he started just spitting up. So like, we're doing this to reduce the spit up. I'm trying to change what I eat to make sure it's not me, my breast milk, causing him to spit up a lot. So I'm like, let me cut out this, let me cut out that, just to see if it's starting to help. So they started adding extra things into my breast milk to, you know, help with the spitting up. They had him, they lifted his bed some, so that it was kind of on an incline. So they were like, we're just trying to do different things, put him on his stomach, don't move him for a while, to see if any of that will help with the spit ups. They started noticing different things happening, and the doctors and nurses started figuring out that he had NEC Necrotizing Entercolitis. I'm just going to call it NEC because that was 2 long words to say. So it was about May 25th, May 26th, somewhere in there. And I went to see him late one night. I went real late to see him. And I noticed when I touched him, he kind of cringed up a little bit, like it was uncomfortable, like it was hurting him. And I said, like, hey, I told the nurse, I said, see, he kind of winced a little bit when I touched him. She's like, yeah, I think he didn't feel too good today. He had some discomfort. So they're watching for his belly to make sure that it's not extended out, and to make sure it's no pain when you touch it. So when I saw that pain was there when I touched him, you know, it made me concerned. So this whole time we're asking, does he have Hirschsprung's, which Hirschsprung's is another disease that my first son has, okay? And they're like, no, I don't think he has that. I don't think he has that. So I'm like, okay, good. That's great to know. So I'm not sure what's happening. They took a stool sample from him and noticed that there was some blood in his stool. But they just kept watching him and noticing. I'm like, okay, he's passing stool. He is getting some out. So they was like, it's not Hirschsprung's. We're not sure. But as his belly started to get extended and he didn't want you to touch him, they was like, you know what? I think that we should send him to a children's hospital. That way, if he requires surgery or if anything else is needed, they would be there to help him. Because that wasn't a children's surgical hospital. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I remember this experience with my first son. I'm not new to this. Just let me know. We're just going to do what we have to do to get him better. So it was probably about May when we got shipped to another hospital. At the end of May, beginning of June. So we left that one and we're at the new one. This new one, mind you, it's about an hour, almost an hour away from our house. So just to visit my son, I have to drive an hour there and an hour back. So it was just a really tough time for us. Now at this point, when they told me he had NEC and they were explaining it to me, my mind kind of went into overdrive. I kind of became obsessed with NEC, trying to figure out what it is, and I started looking up all kind of articles, looking up everything on the internet that I could about NEC, because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was about to happen with him. I knew that it was going to require surgery, but I'm like, I don't know the risk of this surgery, so I began looking up, and that's really why I wanted to make this video, because as I looked up different things about NEC, everything was just so sad, to the point where I promised myself not to look up anything about NEC. I'm really trying not to cry because I can remember this so hard, looking up these articles. And the articles is just telling about the death rate of NEC and what it does to babies, and it showed lots of pictures, and just, you know, I went to the point where I had to type in positive stories about NEC that was going to show, you know, good things, good outcomes, show that the child is living, is healthy, but I really just couldn't find anything. So that's really why I wanted to make this video, to show you the positive, the good, after NEC is done, you know, how well your child is going to do. I honestly really haven't told anyone how scared I was, or how looking at those articles made me feel. Like I really kept it all bottled inside, dealing with it, because most people know me as someone that's strong. With this being my third kid, my first kid already having something like this, you know. I was really just their strong mother that can handle this. So a few weeks after this, after we get to that hospital, they was like, this is the surgery, this is what we're doing, and this is what you're going to expect. So we had the surgery, which this surgery was to remove that part of the intestines that was infected. When they were removing it, that was going to leave him with a colostomy bag. This was not going to be my first time with a colostomy bag.